Today we're going over one of the most important things you can ever do before ever setting foot on a set. Today, we're talking animatics. Hey everyone, I wanted to spend a little time today talking about pre-production. The key, I believe personally, in ever getting a good commercial, story, film, all of those things, if you're talking about narrative work, pre-production is the critical point in making sure that you communicate your story clearly and concisely. And especially if you're doing in the commercial world, you want to be able to deliver on a really tight budget, on a really tight timeline, and get exactly the results you need. Pre-production is the key to unlocking the magic of the set. And most of you out there do shot list, I'm sure. And a shot list is where you sit down on a piece of paper, come up with all your shots. You know what that is. But while a shot list is great for that first initial thoughts of as you try and formulate exactly how you're going to attack your story, I always find they're a little bit lacking. And when I first started out in the industry several years ago, I would make shot lists, I would come back into the computer, start editing, and I always have all these little issues with all the shots. And that's when I discovered the magic of the Animatic. Now, an Animatic, for those of you that don't know, is essentially, I guess the best way to think of it is a video storyboard. And there are a couple of keys to making an Animatic right. The first thing I think, it should just be a very rough storyboard. It should be dirty, it should be experimental, because you don't want to limit your creativity. And so what I like to do whenever I'm coming up with a piece and come up with my shot list, what I'll usually do is then take my tripod and set up some shots real quick. And I might get it, if I have a friend over or a partner, I might have them come over and film me. But the key is I want to essentially get a draft of what I'm doing. And the most important thing is I want to see the motion and I want to see the timing, because timing is very, very important, especially when you're talking about the commercial world where you're sometimes limited to hard 30 seconds, hard 15 seconds, and like that. So the timing is critical, and I don't think you can really know exactly what you're getting into unless you use an animatic. So why are animatics important? Well, the first off is they let you figure out your camera angles and your lenses. I know when I'm sitting down and I'm thinking about this, the first thing I want to do is I put on different lenses when I'm doing my animatic just to see how they make the scene feel. I generally have a good idea of this before I get in there, but it just reaffirms that belief and really gets it. The other thing that's really important, that's so critical, is the timing. The timing is so important. You can never get the timing movement from something on a shot list. If someone walks across a room, you can put that on a shot list. You can put a dolly track to show it, but you're not going to see how much time that will actually play out in real time. And I think an animatic gives you that breathing space. If you're doing stuff for music videos, if you're doing stuff for commercials especially, it's very, very important to see as you write that story visually, making sure that it fits in that story. And it gives you that chance before you're on set that you can start controlling the motion and the blocking to make sure that the video time fits into the time you have. So an animatic is so critically important for that. Another thing that I think is really good to have, if you have any certain of FX shots or you have any sort of angles you need to combine for any sort of, like I said, FX or any kind of special components like that, this is kind of a safe place that you can go, shoot it real quick and dirty, take it in the computer, and see what kind of headaches you might have and problem solve all before you ever get on a set with your clients there, with your crew there, all these people waiting for you to do it. You walk onto set knowing what you have to do. I also think it's really important for setting the mood and the tone. You can really see how your piece is going before it goes. And that's one of the reasons why I like to do an animatic. If I'm doing a music video, I want to do my animatic to the music that I'm doing for the music video. And if I'm doing a commercial, I generally like to find music that I know I'm going to use in the commercial and start planning my animatic out to that, just so I can make sure I'm getting the tone and the pacing of those beats and those pulses right. So I think that's really, really important. So enough being said, what I want to do now is I want to show you a very, very simple animatic that I did. And this is the most basic thing. This is literally me alone in a house. And here what I'm going to do is I want to show you how I did a local animatic for a local restaurant that's based here in Northeast Georgia, a Michi restaurant, which is, if you live in Northeast Georgia, please try them because so good, so good. But we did a commercial for them about sports, and I want to show you now how my thought process evolved from the animatic stage all the way to the finished product. So let's go ahead and take a look at that real quick. Okay, so you can see here in the animatic, it's just me by myself. I had the baseball come in. Watch here, guys. Notice the timing. It's It's not fancy, it's dirty, it's embarrassing. I really don't want anyone to ever see this, right? But it's letting me get the feel for what that commercial can be. And that's so important. Also, I think about food shots I want to get in there and some other general shots. Okay, so kind of embarrassing for y'all to see that, but that is what a really, really rough animatic looks like. Not much to it, guys. Literally me alone in my house with a tripod. But what I'm doing is I'm just starting to experiment with ideas for those shots. So let's take the animatic now that you just saw, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a first draft of the commercial I did based on those motions. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, so now that you've gotten a chance to see that first draft of the commercial, let's go ahead and take a look, and I want to show you the animatic side by side to the actual production so you can see how the timing played out from what my first rough draft was in my house to that first draft of the commercial. Let's go take a look at that. Okay, so there you go. So that kind of lets you see why, as a creator, an animatic puts you in such a better position to attack the day once you get on the set. And it helps you when you're working with your actors. So what's gonna happen, guys, is when you get actors on set, they're gonna have their own kind of body interpretation, they're gonna have their own kind of way of doing that. And this allows you as a director, if you are directing, to really get that energy and that motion from your actors in a way that fits inside the timeline of what your production is. This is really critical too when you're doing music videos, for those of you that want to be music video directors or cinematographers out there. So now that being said, I want to say this one last caveat about the animatic. You need to use it as a guide and not an unbreakable rule. I think that's kind of true for life in general, right? So having a comprehensive plan gives you flexibility, and what that means is you know before you go in there what that commercial is. And so if you see something that creates a happy accident, because you spent so much time investing in creating this piece and the philosophy and timing of it, you know where you can push and pull and really, really unlock the full creativity from your actors on the set. If you just see something that you as a cinematographer or director want to roll with, you know where you can push. So I always think having these plans are great. So let's go take a look at how this animatic went from that first draft into the final presentation and the idea that I wanted to create.
There's nothing like getting together on game day and joining up with your favorite team. At Amici, we're proud to be the place where the sports you love come to you. So next game day, leave the house and come home. Amici, your home for sports.
Okay, so there you go. From embarrassing start to a tripod in my house up to the final product. And that's really the thing I want to let you know, guys, is putting this animatic, it's putting this tool in your toolkit is one of those things that I think can really help you. You'll see a huge boost in your production levels because you shouldn't show up on set wondering what you're going to get. And I think even finding a shot list, there's a lot of variability to that, and there's already variability. When you get on a set, you're going to be lighting. Your actors are going to be presenting things to you in certain ways. So in my opinion, showing up knowing what you as a director or you as a cinematographer can visually accomplish is really going to help you do that dance to its utmost perfection and really get the most out of that time and that schedule on there. So guys, I hope that was helpful. I highly recommend adding animatics into it. You can do it with your iPhones. You can do it with just about anything in the world. Go out there, try it. Let me know if it works for you. Let me know if it helps you on your productions. All right, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll talk to you soon. Go out there and yeah, keep on shooting.